This week, a long-awaited verdict was reached in the trial against rapper Sean Diddy Combs. And Combs was found guilty on 2 counts of using transportation to engage in prostitution, but was acquitted of the more serious charges of racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. So joining us via Zoom to break down the verdict, we have attorney David Betras and this week's Legally Speaking. Good morning, Dave.
How are you?
I am doing well. I mean, this was a trial. Everyone was watching, and some people were shocked with the verdict. Others, they felt like, the prosecution didn't do a great job with, providing the evidence. So let's start with the serious charges he was acquitted of. Was the evidence just not there, or did the prosecution miss the mark?
Well, if you want to see my unvarnished version of what I think of this verdict, unvarnished, then go to my TikTok page and you'll get the unvarnished version. I think the prosecution totally flubbed this case, unfortunately. They relied too much on narrative, emotional issues instead of focusing on substantive legal elements of a RICO charge. The burden is on the government. And I think the prosecutors dropped the ball. And I think, unfortunately, for the Me Too movement, it has a setback now because the women obviously were not believed because the prosecutors didn't bring up evidence to corroborate what they were testifying to.
Wow. So the defense, of course, said this was a huge win. This was a victory.
Now, it was a huge win. Yeah. Absolutely. Look at the government. I've always said the best way to beat a federal indictment, don't get indicted. Okay? And they never lose RICO cases generally. I think they over-relied on this video evidence. I think the prosecution thought, oh, well, people are just going to be grossed out by these freak-off parties. And they didn't do the X's and O's, the blocking and tackling of putting together a successful prosecution. And I think they dealt a real big blow to the Me Too movement. I think this is going to have a chilling effect on women coming forward against powerful, rich men. Well, if you're powerful enough and you're rich enough, this is what can happen.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Now, off the 2 charges, let's talk about the 2 charges he was found guilty on. What could he be sentenced with based off those 2 charges?
Well, in the federal system, they use what's called sentencing guidelines, advisory sentencing guidelines. The judge doesn't have to follow them. But I looked up, and he's at a level, 24, maybe a couple things get added. But he's looking anywhere from 4 to 6 years in prison. He's been in prison already a year. And so you get 54 days good time credit per year. So he's probably going to get around 3 years to a halfway house.
Okay. And he asks after the trial to be released, and they denied that. What goes behind making that decision? What's that thought process?
I think the judge was in error there. The charges he was convicted of, he should be allowed to self-report to a prison. I've had clients in federal court that have gotten 3- and 4-year sentences, and they were allowed to self-report. Under the rules, he could still keep him held without bond, but I was shocked. I thought the judge should have let him out. I mean, the jury said not guilty. That's our system. Whether you like it or not, that was rendered.
Well, we'll see what happens in October.
You like my hat, by the way? I'm on my boat up at Put-in-Bay.
It says the captain is always right.
And then on the brim, if my hair didn't stick straight up, and it says, I'm the captain. Even though I didn't bring you donuts this morning, I'm still the captain. I'm on my boat, and I Put-in-Bay. And if anyone's up here, come visit me. I'm right at Topsy Turvy, and my boat's name is My Alibi. You can't miss it.
I love it, Dave. Hey, enjoy the holiday weekend on your boat. Soak up the sun, all the views.
Yeah, and listen, don't drink and drive this weekend. But if you're going to decide to get red, right, and hammered, make sure you get a good lawyer.
Great advice. No drinking and driving. Dave, thank you for spending time with us this morning from your boat. We're all jealous of you here. Have a good time.
Bye-bye.
All righty.